So I'm standing in front of the house where Henry James lived. Who was Henry James? He was an American-British writer of the turn of the 20th century, and he was essentially one of the first American writers who moved to Europe and made his whole fiction about the contrast between American culture, which was at that time a new culture, versus the old culture and old traditions of Europe, and how that created certain clashes and contrasts between the two. He had an amazing productive career. He wrote some huge books like Portrait of a Lady, The Bostonians, The Wings of the Dove, The Turn of the Screw. And what most characterizes Henry James in his fiction is that he brought a somewhat psychological approach to characters, the inner perspectives of these characters, how they felt, and especially when they were confronted to this contrast between European and American cultures. There was something very internal about Henry James's fiction, something very psychological, and that's what he was very well known for. He also operated on multiple genres, so not only was he writing these amazing novels, but he also experimented with short form, and his story, The Turn of the Screw, is one of the best examples of a horror story, a short horror story. But he also, at one point, was a playwright, and that was a bit of a disaster because his play was released in London and it was a complete disaster. But broadly speaking, he's very well respected for this American perspective on European traditions. He lived in this house for about 15 years before moving to the country in Rye, which became his base before he died in 1916 as the First World War was starting. So Henry James lived here, fantastic American writer with a touch of European tradition.